How are you, football fans? This Sunday, you can stream Arsenal v Man United and Chelsea v Wolves. That's two unmissable fixtures for a one-off payment of just €10. To grab a Now TV Sky Sports Day Pass and only pay for the games that matter to you, search Now TV today. Content streamed via internet, full terms at nowtv.com.
Blog Talk Radio.
You're listening to Howcee Productions Gospel, HOWC, Howcee Productions Gospel. We are your internet radio station, Beatrice, Alabama. It is time for America, True or False. Howcee Productions Gospel series, True or False.
Good evening, and welcome to Howcee Productions Gospel, Blog Talk Radio. Coming in from 231 6th Avenue, True or False, America Pass. What's news? Do you really think we are blind? Thinking about some issues in this country. Howcee Productions Gospel was created in 2009. In the original founder of the station, set to expand to the ears of the public, and Howcee Productions Gospel has worked hard across the years to keep this legacy alive. If you want to call in today, on today's broadcast, True or False, America's Past, or what? News, do you really think we're blind? What is taking place in this country we call America? What is taking place in this country we call America? When we deal with racism, love, Christians, Christianity, humanity, hate, crimes, truth, what do we do? Music, genocide, American nation, politics, crime, greed, sin, the Jewish nation, immigrants, immigration, the Antichrist. What is taking place in this country we call America? You want to call in? The telephone number is 347-202-0317, 347-202-0317. If you'd like to talk to us, give us a call. We're going to open up with a opening prelude. It runs about 12 minutes or so to get you thinking about what's taking place in country, such as the going on with our president and the issue of race and racism. What is it all about? What can we change? What do we have to do to change? Where does that change begin? Again, welcome to Howcee Productions Gospel, Blog Talk Radio. Give us a call at 302.
It is time for America, True or False. Howcee Productions Gospel series, True or False.
Let's get our kids outside, away from the walls and the screens, and toward the sun, with their hands in the earth. Let's teach our children that when you come together in a garden with a dream and hope, you can grow something greater. Our goal is to connect 10 million children to the garden over the next 5 years. Because wherever gardens grow, kids grow too.
That I know nothing about.
I wonder what he has learned since then. Let's discuss now. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is here. We're so glad to have him, and Kieran Mayo as well. Thank you both for joining us. This is an important topic to discuss here. Lots that I want to talk to you about, Kareem. Let's start with this. The president thinks that Spike Lee's call for love over hate was a racist attack on him. What would make him think that?
I think he sees enemies everywhere he looks, so he probably is trying to make a case for that being an attack on him. I think Spike is trying to get people out to vote and to express whatever it is that they feel is their political statement.
Mm-hmm. Kieran, Spike was pretty reserved for what he said. I mean, coming from Spike Lee, he could have gone much harder.
That was my first thought. I was like, wow, Spike's tucking it in. You know, right. You're used to Spike really kind of coming at you a little more clearly than that even. Look, this is a president who knows he's on the wrong side of history. So you've hit the dog. In other words, he's barking because he knows that he exemplifies all that Spike and his courageous film are really standing against. And David Duke actually makes a cameo in Spike's film if the president needs to make himself familiar with whom David Duke.
Well, but David Duke also, there is also him talking about David Duke in an interview, way prior.
Of course,
to that
I'm being
interview
facetious. He absolutely knows who David Duke is, and he did before that moment.
So during the campaign, Kareem, Trump used to ask black voters, remember, what do you have to lose? Does he understand that his policies and the economy hasn't solved racism?
Well, I think what he's reacting to is the fact that his own history with regard to renting rental units in Queens, where they refuse to rent to black applicants, I think that's something that he knows is a shadow on anything that he has to say. And he and his dad paid fines, without admitting any guilt. They paid fines and were told to rectify the situation. It's things like that really give the lie to so many of the things that he has to say.
Yeah. Do you think he believes that? Do you believe that he's somehow solved racism and this is the best time ever for African Americans, and he doesn't see how the economy has only improved about 2 points?
I don't even think he really, this may be out there, but I don't really think that the president sees black people as fully human. I don't think he sees us as having agency, intelligence, as noted by his comment about Spike. He wishes he could read. There's always some subtle suggestion that black people need to catch up, keep up, and if it were not for his graciousness, if it were not for his attentiveness, his loving kindness, we would be in a hell of a place. Mm-hmm. But, clearly most African Americans, I think, are offended by most of the president's language, by most of his conversation, and certainly by the thing every night, every clip just leaves most African Americans feeling, this is a person who actively hates me. This is a person who hates people who look like me. And despite these individual one-off wins, I think we're clear that the legacy of Donald Trump and the future of Donald Trump is one and the same. He is racist.
Yeah. I want to ask you, Kareem, because people look to you for...
More coming your way here on Howcee Productions Gospel, Blog Talk Radio. America, true or false? What is it about America that says one thing and do one another? Why can't we see each other as fellow human beings with shortcomings and differences? But yet and still, the battle continues. We fight and squabble over this, that, and the other. Is it just the elements of human? Is it just the element of the human sin of selfishness and prejudice and racism? What is it about us that we cannot just get along, love, and care for each other like God intended us to be? What is it about us that when it comes time for us to, as they say, love each other, we choose and make the choice to fight each other? More coming your way on Howcee Productions Gospel, Blog Talk Radio.
Analyst Britt Hume. Good evening, Britt. Hi, Chris. So, last night, Spike Lee finally, after a long career, finally won an Oscar, and he ended his acceptance speech with this. Take a look.
The 2020 presidential election is around the corner. Let's all mobilize. Let's all be on the right side of history. Make the moral choice between love versus hate. Let's do the right thing.
President Trump took exception, tweeting this morning, "Be nice if Spike Lee could read his notes, or better yet, not have to use notes at all when doing his racist hit on your president, who has done more for African Americans, criminal justice reform, lowest unemployment numbers in history, tax cuts, etc., than almost any other president." Britt, what do you make of that exchange?
Well, I don't think it was racist. And I don't even think it was particularly anti-Trump. He didn't mention the president. Look, Chris, you may have heard me on this before. I think the way the word racist is flung around these days is a terrible thing. It was a great triumph for the civil rights movement, the national consensus, overwhelming national consensus against racism. And the word has been weaponized in politics. It's used often by the left against conservatives and Republicans. Now we have the president using it against Spike Lee, who is obviously a Democrat and the leftist. I think the president is out of line on this. I think Spike Lee, I mean, he said some pretty strong things before, but that was a kind of a unifying message. He said love versus hate. I think, Chris, you and I are both for love versus hate. I would think if you asked the president, he'd say he was too. So I don't think it was his finest moment, that response.
And then there were a number of comments during the night.
More comments coming up. Meghan McCain defends Spike Lee against attack from reality show president. More interesting information
At
coming
Voice, we partner with our clients because we understand how important phone service is to their success.
The National Pain Institute was trying to overcome the high costs of telephone services as our company started to grow. We were looking to save money and improve our communication services between our facilities. I have been a happy 4Voice client for the past 8 years.
Pride Air Conditioning and Appliance has been a 4Voice client for about a year and a half. The best part of 4Voice's customer service is how easy they make it. Their accessibility is excellent, superb.
From the very beginning, it was apparent that 4Voice was very committed to providing us with excellent service. They could customize anything we needed. It was never a no.
They're very hardworking, and it is proven in the work that they do. We have experienced cost savings, not only in our monthly bills, but in the fact that we have satisfied customers that continue to use us because how easy it is to get a hold of us now.
It allowed us to examine key performance indicators to help us better evaluate our employees' productivity.
Pride Air Conditioning would definitely recommend 4Voice. Their communication is an A+. Their technical knowledge is A+. If I've ever had an issue, they resolve it right on the spot. I would definitely recommend them hands down, no hesitation.
I would definitely recommend 4Voice's services to anyone looking to save money and have the ability to customize their phone service needs.
To partner with 4Voice, the best choice for voice, call us today.
Who are you wearing? And she said, Bradley Cooper. Spike Lee won his first Oscar ever for co-writing Black Klansman, and he used his acceptance speech to make one of the night's most political moments. Watch.
The 2020 presidential election is around the corner. Let's all mobilize. Let's all be on the right side of history. Make the moral choice between love versus hate. Let's do the right thing.
So, needless to say, Trump was not happy with this. He's supposed to be heading to Vietnam, Trump, right now, but he found some executive time to tweet back. This is what he wrote. Be nice if Spike Lee could read his notes when he's doing his racist hit on your president, who has done more for African Americans than almost any other president. Does that include Abraham Lincoln, I wonder? Have to emancipate ourselves.
Why was that a racist hit?
Because if the shoe fits and you think every little remark about you is racist, maybe you are. Look in the mirror.
Yeah, well, also, I thought that he was... I love Spike Lee, but he was refreshing for a lot of different reasons. His clothes, I like he wore tennis shoes because it's so him. He had a tribute to Prince with his necklace. And I also think art is political. And I'm on a different side than he is politically, but I like people taking time when they have a moment. I'm not one of these people that's like, everybody in Hollywood should shut the blank up. I actually think we have a reality show president. He's using his time this way, and I don't understand what the problem is, and I wish the Oscars would and all award show lean into a little bit. These are tumultuous times, and we're all in a pool that we say controversial things all the time. It's not so bad. Life does go on, and it's okay for people to speak their truth when they get an award.
Well, I enjoy it, too.
And guess what? He did not mention Trump's name.
No.
So if
piece of advice for President Trump: don't go after Spike Lee.
Don't go.
That's not going to end well. It's just that's not going to end well.
No.
I don't think.
Google Central Park 5 in case you're wondering if Trump is a racist. We'll be right back with more Hot Topics.
As we continue here on Howcee Productions Gospel Blog Talk Radio, those clips there in regards to Spike Lee and President Donald Trump.